In business, the Naira has demonstrated signs of strengthening against the United States dollar, appreciating by 125 Naira to reach 1,275 Naira per dollar over the weekend. The new rate represents a 9.8% increase when compared to 1,400 Naira to a dollar it traded at the close of trading activity on Friday. Now, this came as the Senate, through its Committee on Finance, called for concerted efforts by all relevant stakeholders to rescue and sustain its stability. The Senate said there was an urgent need for concerted efforts to tackle the instability and continuous depreciation of the Naira. Now, to discuss this, I'm joined by economist Akin Fatunke. Hello, Akin. Thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Good evening, Nigerians.
It's a pleasure as well. All right, so Akin, what factors would you say contributed to the recent rebound of the Naira at the parallel market?
Again, good today, bad tomorrow, good for a period, bad some other periods. That is naturally expected, but I believe that one of the factors that I may be able to tick off my finger will be that the crude oil production, we're getting news that the crude oil production has been rigged up to about 1.4 million barrels per day. That is good news if it is not stolen. So there are a couple of ifs. I also think that the erstwhile attempt, very rigorous attempt by the monetary authorities, by the headmaster himself, I'm talking of Bodeso and his group, to recall the Burundi change, is also paying very well. And situations surrounding the fact that they have been calling for the fact that only registered operators under their ambits should continue to benefit. And we see situations where the open market prices is being cheaper than the CBN says to BDC. The third factor will be that the illegal economic behavior of holding, of round tripping, were wiped off, even though not commensurate with adequate production. So, Dapsi, you are hearing a clap with one hand, maybe like a clip like that. It's not become a clap yet because we are still not producing the way we need to be producing. So speculators, infractions, hoardings, and co, and the fact that we are looking at technology trying to come into the system, whereby you trace the bank account to the name of the bank accounts, to the visa applications, to issues surrounding the international passports, be able to trace, even to tickets, so that those who are doing a form of arbitrage or speculation are going to be wiped away. So, sale of dollars to the velocity chain, again, it goes without saying that the payment of the backlog is still making some waves. And Mr. President was at Riyadh, and he kept on still talking about these issues. And I think the world seems to be listening. Whether it's going to be short term, whether it's going to be short to medium term, and whether at the end of the day it's going to be a long term, by which point I am saying that Nigeria becomes very productive and we're able to tame the twin problems of inflation and unemployment, more, I dare say, more confidence will come into the market. So what we have just seen, basically, the fact that we are wrapping up production. Hopefully, we'll be able to use some of the additions that we have done.
Akin, quite a number of factors you've actually, revealed there. And when you started speaking, you actually talked about the instability of the Naira, good today, bad tomorrow. So how does this instability or the rebound of the Naira at the parallel market impact the country's overall economy?
Hey, good. It's like your bench strength. You say you are going to be able to do something, and then people look at it. It's very harsh and difficult. Normally, inflation that's also dovetail on the ever-increasing dependence on dollar. By the time it starts to come down, and naturally, it will take its toll. It's like a relay race. At the end of the day, we might be getting to a position whereby we can enhance and inject the productive sector of the economy because we are so import dependent. The risk that is associated with making sure that we do our denomination in Naira. CBN is doing a lot in that direction. The round tripping that we begin to see and is coming to fall by what we see some of the state governors have been doing is coming to fall and it's being nipped in the bud. At the end of the day, Nigeria, like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said a few days back in Riyadh, will be able to find its own level and be able to compete with other currencies of the world.
All right, Akin. So, but what are some strategies that individuals and businesses can use to mitigate the impact of fluctuations in the Naira value, at the parallel market? Because it seems to be a thing of concern for especially businesses.
I like to say very quickly, we have to be a bit patriotic. It's not easy. We have to try and trust more. That trust deficit is still there. And I think the executives at all levels, including the National Assembly, must come out clean as stakeholders to lead the way and show by example. The Senate Committee on Finance asked that all stakeholders must join together. What are you doing yourself? Can we begin to engender trusts by your budgetary system, by making sure you cut your coat according to your plug, lead the way so that the rest of us can follow. Secondly, I believe seriously that the technology that is coming in, by which Nigeria is becoming one in the world in fintech, whereby we can trace the money and that we can punish those who are offending. The EFCC just secured a court injunction to freeze the accounts of people who have been showing a lot of infraction. We need to put that in place. At the end of the day, trust to get back into productive capacity again. When we begin to see that all state governors should step out there and help to tame this food inflation that is becoming unending. All state governors should also ensure that each time we do our fair allocation and it goes out there, the likes that we're beginning to see does not happen. And if it happens, we trace it, we punish it.
Akin, well, due to time constraints, we apologize. We would have to wrap up here. But thank you so much for speaking to us on this.
Always. It will be well. Thank you.